Hello everybody, I'm so excited where I'm at today. I've heard about this place for so long and I'm finally here. This is called Lara Farms and we're going to meet Julian today. And Julian's going to take us around this amazing farm that has so many different varieties. Now, I've been looking on the internet for years at exotic fruits, and even though I've been to this area before, at that time I didn't know who he was, but the more I researched exotic fruits and growing and trees, his name keeps coming up. And I love things like Mamey and soursop, granabanas, and things like this. And he specializes in getting the top variety of these things and grafting them. And it's just amazing, all the things that I hear he has. So I'm really excited today. We're going to be doing a tour with him, and he's going to show us around the farm. Some of these Mamey trees in the background here are 40 years old that his dad planted, and they're loaded with Mameys right now. He has a great selection of mangoes here that I haven't even heard of it from other places. And some of them he's keeping, some of them he's top working, and he's going to get all into that. And this is a great place. I'm going to put the address and the phone number below. So please make sure you contact him, especially if you're in South Florida. Definitely worth a visit. So here it is, Lara Farms. There's the phone number and the address right there. Again, I'll put it below, Lara Farms. And it's very fitting that he has a Mamey right there, because that's one of the things that this was originally a Mamey farm, even though his dad had other things. But he has everything here. So we are going to start right now with this amazing tour. So say hello to Julian, everybody. He is the owner, and here goes the tour. All right, everybody, here we are at Lara Farms. This is Julian, and we're going to see his farm. How big is your farm?
How big is my farm? We got 5 acres in the back, and here we got about 4. So we got, nine, not including the house, but like 9 acres.
Okay, and what year was this established?
My father purchased this first lot back in '79. Planted all the original Mamey trees in 1980, and it's been, going through the whole everything. Hold on, I got distracted by the car.
Okay.
But yeah, it's been through the freezes of the early 80s and the late 80s and Hurricane Andrew and whatnot, but we just kept on going. He kept on going, and these trees are 40 years old. It's unbelievable.
Wow. Now I know you have a lot of different variety of things we're going to see today. Would you say soursop and Mamey are the two most popular things?
Well, we got Mamey, we got Caimito, we got some baby guanabanas that look really cool. You might like to see, and I'm pretty sure there'll be more things that pop up.
Great.
That's fun and interesting.
Wonderful. Let's go.
All right, let's go. All right, so here we got some baby guanabana.
Baby guanabana. Now, how many varieties of guanabana are out there?
Well, every time you plant a seed, you get a new variety, but you don't know if it's going to be good or bad when it grows up. Kind of like a kid. You don't know if it's going to grow up to be a doctor or a delinquent. Hopefully a doctor most of the time. And when you do happen to get a doctor, that's when you graft it. So you're going to have your whole farm full of doctors. And this one happens to be a doctor. This one I found at a old girlfriend's uncle's backyard, believe it or not. She was roast. I mean, I'm frustrated. I'm like, why can't I grow guanabana? Why? Why is this so difficult for me? I never can get it. In the history of Lara Farms, why? And then this girl comes along and says, oh, my uncle has it. It's like, it's full of fruit all the time. I'm like, really? Let's go see. And lo and behold, it was true. And I managed to get some budwood. I asked her uncle, do you do anything special to it? Is there anything to this? No, it's just water. And let me tell you, it was in the honey zone. It was in the honey zone, and that's why I was doing so well without any attention. So I saw that he didn't do any hand pollination, any special bug pollinating or anything. He just watered it. So I'm like, hey, that's a good start. So I got some budwood, brought it over here, grafted it, planted 3 in the ground, and in 1 year I got those trees to make fruit in 1 year. And they were in a 3-gallon, about 3 or 4 feet tall when I put them in the ground. Put them in the ground, same dirt, no black dirt, nothing, same rock that I dug out, put it back in, fertilized it, gave it fungicide, sprayed it and drenched it, and whatchamacallit, I got 2 like between 4 and 5 pound fruit from each tree. 2, 4,
Wow.
5 pound fruit on each tree. And they gave more, but they weren't as big, they were kind of smaller. So this variety happens to self-pollinate. And as long as you spray with fungicide, I like to spray every 2 weeks. Okay, that way there's no mistake. And I try to do it as religious. I mean, even though I'm consistent, I mess up and I go like 3 weeks or 4 weeks without doing it and I mess up and I do see like oh, that one's starting to turn black, and I get scared and I spray right away.
Sure. And how many of these trees do you have?
In the ground, I think I got about between 25-ish.
And what's the name of this variety?
This variety, I decided to name it after the place I got it from, which is Miami. And hopefully we can put Miami on the map for guanabanas, that it can be grown in your backyard. I mean, that's my mission, to find stuff that you can just set it and forget it, like that toaster oven back in the days. And without having to hand pollinate or do anything special. I mean, that's pretty much, because everybody's not an expert, and hand pollinating is kind of a tedious homework job, so we want to make subject people to that. So this one self-pollinates. I guess the female part of the flower coexists at the same time. It turns into male. It's female long enough. It stays female long enough to the point that the male flower is starting to ripen up, and the female part of the flower is still wet.
So I know at Home Depot they sell soursop, $20 trees, pretty big.
Right.
But like you said, you don't know what you're getting. Those are seedlings, right?
Correct. They may not self-pollinate.
Okay.
And you may have to hand pollinate those. And it could be sour, and these are sweet. Now, I like to wait till they're ripe on the tree. I squeeze them and it's ripe, and I pick it. And right when you first pick it, that's the sweetest they'll ever get. Every day after that, they get just a little bit more sour, and they peel really easy. The seed separates really good, and it's just really sweet.
Now, if you have other trees that aren't doing well, this variety, would you just take budwood from this and put it on those other trees?
What do you mean not doing?
If you have other soursop trees, other varieties,
right,
that aren't doing well, like this one,
right,
would you take budwood from this?
Will I top work it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually doing that now. I cut down a whole bunch of the variety's called Tetona. It's really big. It's from South America, and it didn't do anything for me here, and I've had it for almost 20 years. So I cut it to a stump, and right now all the shoots are growing back, and I'm going to graft on those shoots with this one. So
Wow.
that's the plan.
And how tall is this now?
Well, I cut it back, and I don't know, I would say it's about 10 feet tall, 12 feet tall. And I have it under some hoops, so when it's cold, I just put a plastic roof over it for a few months, and then take it down as soon as it gets hot again.
And do you keep it at this size?
Yeah, I have to keep it at this size, because then I won't be able to get the plastic on top. And you want to walk along, you're going to see a lot of fruit to your left and right. Down the side.
There's the top there where he's... Wow. And they need full sun, these trees?
The more sun, the more flowers, I think.
Now, if you didn't cut these trees, how tall would they grow?
20, 25 feet, I don't know, maybe 20 feet. Because I know these things do grow pretty big if they don't have anything impeding them, like a hurricane or even disease.
Yeah, I had 4 growing soursop that I paid good money for, and none of them got fruit, and then I got one from Home Depot, and it's the best fruit I've had.
Yeah, well, you won the lottery. You won the guanabana lottery.
Yeah.
You might have a good strand. Home Depot, whoever's supplying Home Depot probably has a good strand.
Yeah. And one of my neighbors has a really good variety as well. So.
Yeah, I mean, every time I find something good, like I have a friend from Jamaica, and he lives in Lauderhill, and everybody has a soursop in their backyard, and he told me, oh, my neighbor has a really sweet one. So I went over there, and I got some bud went grafted and named it, named it Sunrise. Sunrise 1 and Sunrise 2. But I don't even have that in inventory, so don't even ask me if you can buy one. Because
nice.
The one that's like been tested and won like a champ time and after again is this one. Miami.
Alrighty. Well, I'm going to put his contact information below. If anyone wants this variety, definitely contact him at the contact information below. Besides the trees, do you have the fruit for sale during season?
Especially now with the shortage of tropical fruit trees, I think I'm going to start focusing more on planting as much seeds as possible, opposed to selling fruit. Selling fruit is not a good idea right now. And yeah, especially Mamey. I mean, one seed, it has potential of being $25 at least. As soon as it started flowering, you can't graft anymore. And these are grafted Miami soursop.
What's the season are they?
They like right now we got out of winter, so the fruits that we saw on the trees will be ready for June, July, August, September, all the way until it gets cold again. If it wasn't for the cold, we'd be having fruits all year round.
How long before these have fruit?
Like I planted one like this, and in 1 year it gave me the 5-pound fruit. But I would give it Miracle Grow or whatever, 20, 20, 20.
What size are these?
These are 3 gallons. It costs $40. Grafted Miami soursop. Self-pollinated.
I'm gonna get one. Why? It's too high?
Yeah. You have to scratch it first before you pick it.
Uh-huh.
See if it's red. So what I'm gonna do, I wanna cut that limb. I'm gonna get a chainsaw, just cut it and let it fall and pick them.
And you said those are 10 feet apart, those trees?
No, some are 10, some are 20.
Uh-huh. Nice.
Who do you know has a golden Lipton's mango in 15 gallons?
I never even heard of a golden Lipton's mango.
You never heard of Lipton's?
No.
Oh, there's Lipton's and golden Lipton's. Golden Lipton's is about 5 pounds, 0 fiber, juicy, sweet, super sweet, and like humongous. And the tree's dwarf. And then,
really?
Yeah, and then the Lipton's, it's just a fine mango. Just no fiber, juicy, sweet. You know, not a pretty mango here, but probably pretty in the honey zone. That's another thing. Honey zone makes super beautiful mangoes.
And how does it do with the bacterial black spot on that tree?
We don't get that here.
You don't?
No, we don't get that here.
On your farm, you don't get that here?
No.
Wow.
We don't got that here. Fortunately, knock on wood.
But do you have varieties that are susceptible to it, like lemon zest and all those?
Mm-hmm.
And they don't? Wow, that's... So these are all my May trees here.
Yeah, these are originals.
These are 40-year-old trees that his dad planted. And there's fruits on all of them. Now, do you cut these back at all?
Now, what I did for Hurricane Irma was I pruned the heaviest branch. Like in this case, back in 2016, I cut this in half. Not all the way through, almost all the way through. So if the hurricane was strong enough to finish breaking it, it'll break it without uprooting the tree. Now, if it wasn't strong enough to snap the branch being cut halfway, it will stay on there and heal and keep growing. And that's the case for a lot of these trees. So, you know, instead of going crazy and cutting everything, I just cut the heaviest branch and cut it in half, halfway through with the chainsaw. And if it fell, it falls. If it stays, it stays.
So that's your tip for avoiding these being uprooted.
Right. If you have, you know, a last minute type of emergency like a hurricane, just go in halfway with the chainsaw on the heaviest branch.
When you say last minute, what if it's not last minute? What if you have enough notice? Is there another tip you would have?
For pruning, it's always good to have a tree growing short and wide. That way, it's easy to pick the fruit and hurricanes won't be able to knock it down. But if you have trees like this that grow super straight up, super tall, it's hard, you know. And plus, you're not going to get a lot of fruit having a short and wide Mamey tree. It has to be at least 20 feet tall. And here we have, this is a Naomi Mango from Israel. It has a very flat seed like Nam Dak Mai. Has the color of a sunset when it's ripe. It's very juicy, sweet, and it's super productive. It's one of the selections over there in Israel.
How many Mamey trees are on the property?
So you got 90 trees per acre, more or less. No, the white sapote.
Yeah, what variety of white sapote is that?
This one is called Redlands.
Redlands, yeah, I have a small one.
Yeah, they make a good sized fruit, and if you let it ripe correctly, it's not so hard on the aftertaste, because it does have a bitter aftertaste, but it's not that bad.
How big is that tree? Pretty big.
How big is this tree? I don't know, 20 feet. And this is another variety. The tree is, you know, it needs to be taken care of more. They give it some iron. But this one is called Young Hands.
Young Hands, yeah, I got that.
Yeah,
They stay small, right?
The tree actually gets...
No, the fruit.
No, they get big.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they get just as big as Redland. But since this tree is kind of sickly, it's having a hard time with nutrition, and the fruits are not that big.
And how much water do you give this? Do you have irrigation on them?
Yeah, there's a drip line. There's a drip line on it right there. But it has no bitter aftertaste. And I got it from Mrs. Young Hands herself.
Oh, wow.
The budwood, back in the late 90s.
How many white sapote trees do you have on the property?
Just these two.
Is there a reason you don't have more of them?
That's more than enough. For my purposes, which is, you know, planting seeds and getting budwood.
Okay.
And I got about, you know, at least 100 mangoes on the property, 100 different varieties. 100 plus, actually. Maybe 120. And not including the new stuff. The new variety, not including that. I don't have any of those in the ground. I'm top working a lot of stuff though. Like Lipins, I'm top working Lipins. Not golden Lipins, but I'm top working Lipins. It's a great mango, but who asked for Lipins? Nobody.
Yeah. So what about Kent and Kent? Do you have those trees here? And no issue with bacterial black spot on this? Wow.
Just anthracnose.
Okay.
And this is Caimito, or otherwise known as star apple.
Then it's green and purple star apple, right?
Yeah. This is a seedling we planted here about 20 years ago, and it's very latex free. A lot of people say it's completely latex free, and it's very sweet. The fleshy part around the seeds is like coconut. Very sweet. These get the size of a baseball. This variety, which we just call Lara, since it's our own house variety. Cut it with a knife.
So this is a star apple. Is there a difference between the green and the purple ones in taste, or not necessarily?
Yeah, there is. Would you like to try?
Yeah, try it.
You can eat it like an orange. Just don't eat the skin.
Wow. That's good. Would you say that's the sweetest ones you have, or this is special because there's no latex?
They're all sweet. It's all about the skin, you know, if it's a thin skin or thick skin. These are very thin skin when they're in their prime, when they're perfectly ripe. These are a little bit overripe. Even though they don't taste overripe, they're a little bit overripe. So when they're perfect, they have a very thin skin, very juicy, no latex.
And how do they grow from seedlings? Do they need to be grafted as well?
They need to be grafted. This house variety that we're eating, we graft it. We have a whole row grafted from the original tree. So this is the white flesh. Did you like it? This is the white flesh. This one I call Hipólito. It's some budwood that I brought back from the Dominican Republic.
Wow.
And it made it, and I grafted it. The grafts took, I planted the trees, and here it is. It's excellent.
Can I throw this here?
Yeah. It's biodegradable.
This is white, well, green on the outside, white on the inside.
Yeah, sometimes they get rosy on the outside. Sometimes they get like pink, like a rose gold color.
Wow, that is excellent.
This one should taste better than the first one you ate. Let's cut it this way now.
What's the season for these?
For this purple one, it's January to June for this purple variety, for our house variety, which we call Lara. And this white one that I call Hipólito is March to June. So the purple one's a lot earlier. It starts in January, so you have it 6 months out of the year. This one's 3 months out of the year.
And how old are these trees?
15 years old, give or take. And the skin does turn to a rose gold color when it's perfectly ripe. It's beautiful.
Now, I heard water-wise on the Camito, it's one of those that could sit in standing water better than the others, or?
Yeah, they can take a lot of water. And they can take, you know, they don't need a lot of care. They're very low maintenance. They don't need, I mean, once the roots get in there, they need hardly any.
Yeah, I heard you say less than just any other tree, probably.
No
right?
pests, no fungus problem. I mean, the only pest that I've noticed is you might get some fruit fly or beetle when it's really ripe, and they get into this crack in here, and they start eating away. But it's not a big problem. You see that on a few cases only.
Very good.
Other than that, there's no fungus problem, no real insect problem, not even much scales or aphids or nothing like that. I really haven't seen it. And fertilizer, 0.
Wow.
It doesn't, it's very efficient at finding nutrition, I guess. This one's perfectly ripe. When it gets that color.
How's the demand for these? Do people buy the trees that are fruit? Or do they not all?
Yeah, let me tell you. You want another piece? It's a very underrated fruit. It's very underrated. A lot of people think it doesn't grow well here. A lot of people haven't tried it since they left Cuba or Jamaica. And they don't know that they can have it here. And as soon as somebody finds out that I have these grafted, they want a tree, no matter how small it is.
Now, if you go to a big nursery that sells just random fruit trees, and they're not so much into specializing in grafting like you are, but they will graft, but they don't know the varieties as well.
Well, I think if somebody grafted it,
They must know.
they had a good reason. No one's going to graft something, you know.
So you wouldn't suggest buying a seedling of these?
Excuse me?
You wouldn't suggest getting a seedling?
No, I wouldn't. It takes as long as a person to research the material. So you're not going to wait 10, 14 years.
And you don't even know you're going to get a good one in that case.
Right. So you're better off buying a grafted tree.
Wow.
Tastes good, huh? And this
Yeah.
is another variety. This one's called Burgess. This one I got from Maurice Kong. It's supposed to be as big as this white one, but purple skin.
How many varieties of these star apples do you have?
Well, that's 1, 2, 3 is Burgess. I got another one here that's called number 4. It's a small caimito, super sweet, no latex at all. You almost eat the skin on it. And I just called that one number 4. But I'm thinking about Lara's plum. Has a name. And over here I got another one called Carango that I got from Richard Campbell back when we worked at Fairchild. Which, believe it or not, is my least favorite. And it's a pretty big tree already. It's like at least 15.
So, considering what you just said being your least favorite, that doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. It's just you got some that are so good.
I mean, I'm like, God, I have these fruits coming out of my ears. I'm going to tell you which one is my least favorite.
Yeah. Now, would you top work this tree into one of the ones you like better, or no, because you want the variety?
No, I want this variety. I want it. Yeah. And I got a sucker. I just noticed right now. There's a sucker growing. Next to this is the grafted tree right here. And then here's the sucker going from underneath the graft.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I didn't notice this until right now. Anyways, here's a Carango.
And have you, so obviously you haven't tried anything from the sucker because you just noticed it now.
Right. You know, it's kind of a...
That looks like more like the common ones you would find.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, it makes a lot of fruit. What do you think?
It's nice.
Is it your least favorite?
No. It's smaller.
Right.
No. It's pretty sweet.
It's up there, huh?
Yeah.
Everybody's different.
Are these your avocados?
Yeah.
You want to talk about them now or later?
What, the trees that I have for sale?
Avocados.
Oh, the different avocado varieties?
Yeah.
Well, I got about 40 different varieties in the ground. This one right here is called Taylor.
I have one of those.
Taylor's is the closest thing you're gonna get to a Haas, without it being a Haas.
Even more than a super Haas, or Ooh La La.
I mean, those Haas avocados, they all almost look the same. You know, this one is it's like a pear. It has a nice little neck, and it has a wrinkly skin. It tastes just like a Haas to me.
And I hear it's a very good producer.
It makes a ton of fruit.
What's the season on that?
Season November, December.
And what size is that?
15 gallon.
So how much do you sell those for?
120.
120 for 15 gallon, okay. And
pretty much everything.
Okay.
Almost everything. You know, and I got some more oddball varieties. I like to have things.
Yeah, tell us about the oddball varieties.
Yeah. Other than Choquette and Simmons, I got another one called Tower. Tower number 2, which is a commercial variety used down here a long time ago. Another one called Tonnage, which is another commercial variety. I mean, they taste great. They're just as good as a Simmons. Now, excuse me, over there you can see Hardy. Now, Hardy is not the greatest tasting avocado, except if you like watery avocado. But it's a red Russell. It's a red long neck avocado. It's very beautiful. And then next to Hardy, I got Pollock, which is like being in heaven, but it doesn't make a lot of fruit.
So it's one of the best tasting ones, but it's not a good producer.
Not a good producer. But if you want a tree that's not gonna, hit you over the head with avocados from being so productive, Pollock is a good option. You want to eat a few avocados a year? That's your man, Pollock. What else? We got a lot of Taylors and Pollock. Brooks Late. Brooks Late is interesting because it makes fruit in February and March. Even though it's a small avocado like a Haas, it tastes really good. Right here, Brooks Late. Very, very late season avocado. And then a lot of people's favorite, Hialeah Red. Red skin avocado, round like a bowling ball. It even has a baby fruit on it.
Oh, wow.
And it's ready to pick when it first blushes red, bright red. And I'm not talking about purple, I'm talking about red, red, red. Fire engine. I got pictures on Instagram and on Facebook, I think.
And then what's the size avocados? Could they be kept smaller, or do they need to just let them grow?
You can keep, let's say your tree grows to be 20 feet tall, you cut it back to 12 feet and then let it start all over again. And I would cut all the the verticals and leave all the laterals.
And in terms of season-wise, what would you recommend if somebody had only a small yard for early, mid, and late season avocado?
I would get Simmons, Miguel, Choquette, and Ronnie. Ronnie's the super late one.
Yeah, tell us about the Ronnie, because you're the only one that really...
Right. Well, I was hunting for Ronnie for like 20 years, and I finally got it like a couple of years ago. Owner was making a lot of money with it because of the time of the year it makes fruit, which is February, March, and April. And as soon as they started shipping avocados from the Dominican Republic, in that time frame, February, March, April, for whatever, $20 a box, you know, that went down the drain. So it wasn't as valuable as it originally was for him. So he decided to let me have budwood and sell it as a good avocado that's late season. So that's the story of Ronnie. He named it after his son, Ronnie.
Okay, yeah. It's Ronnie, but it's a Ronnie, not a Ryan.
R-O-N-N-I-E.
Yeah, as a not a Donnie though.
No, not a Donnie.
Yeah.
Over there you got 7 gallons, small 7-gallon carry with fruit on it. Got none like my fruit on it, Glen with fruit on it.
Now, how far apart are these mango trees, and how old are they?
20 feet, and they're about 20 years old.
Did you put these in the ground?
Yep. Now, everything on this side of the property, you know, was put in 20 years ago, not 40.
And how does do you water these mangoes over here?
Yeah, they all have a drip. There's a drip line there, believe it or not.
Now, are those bananas growing in between there?
Yeah. I got rid of them. They're making too much shade for these mangoes. It's a hard time. I have a hard time getting rid of those bananas.
What varieties do you have in there?
That's the burro. That's for frying. Here we got Morena, Molex, Zapadillas. This one's called El Soco. This is from the Dominican Republic. It's a nice selection from the DR. And this is Hassel.
Have you heard of the butterscotch sapodilla?
Oh yes.
You have one of those?
Yeah, I think so. I got one in a container. And then this is the Dengue Jackfruit. And this is a black gold.
Yeah, I have a black gold. That's wonderful. They're my favorite ones.
And this one is the Chino.
Yeah.
Look at that Chino back there. It's
Wow.
like a loaf of bread.
Wow.
This is a golden nugget. This is another black gold.
It's a great variety,
with
everybody.
a dimple on it. And then this one's called Tabui.
My friend has a Bangkok lemon.
Okay,
And it
I
has
have that
about
one.
35 on there right now. It's like 4th year.
So it's very
Amazing.
productive.
Yeah, it's amazing. It tastes great.
And then this is a Borneo Red. This is another black gold.
So do you graft your mango trees and have them for sale?
Yeah. They graft their own stuff. This is a seedling that we call banana crunch. It's there's almost zero latex, no bad aftertaste, no bad smell. Crunchy.
Is it soft or harder? Oh,
Crunchy.
you just said crunchy. Okay.
Crunchy. This is going to be soft. You can stick your finger through it, through the skin, and it's still crunchy.
Wow. You don't have any Champadoc, do you?
Well, China is the only closest thing to Custard.
Do you have China?
Yeah, we just passed it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not ready yet.
How old is that tree?
Sorry?
How old is that tree?
About 20 years. I planted all these.
Wow.
That's our golden nuggets.
And you water these as well, the established ones?
Mm-hmm. See the drip line, okay?
Uh-huh.
Every tree has a drip line. The first thing I did when we bought this was put a drip line, and then planted the trees.
You have a well here?
Mm-hmm.
How deep does the well go down?
I don't know, 30, 50 feet. Here's the yellow skin custard apple.
Wow.
And
So
then,
even though the leaves are off there, they're still growing fruit.
yeah. And then I got the Fernandez custard apple, which is our house variety. It's blood red inside. There's not any left, unfortunately. We just missed the season. But there's a ripe one right now.
Oh wow. What's this
Small
called?
one.
What's it called?
Fernandez.
So this is a smaller one.
This is like the leftover. So let's open it up.
Wow.
Yeah. Here you
All
go.
right, we'll try that. Fernandez.
We'll try that, and we'll be back after these messages.
Wow.
It's really nice.
That's delicious. Tell me about this tree now. This is can you graft? I mean, can you top work this on any soursop, white sapote? They're all in the same family.
No. You gotta graft this on. This is a reticulata, so you have to graft it on reticulata.
Which would be Adamoyas.
No, reticulata is custard apple.
So that and Adamoyas would be different.
Correct. Adamoya is a cross between Chirimoya from South America and squamosa, which is the sugar apple. And this is reticulata, which is another species. There's a whole bunch of Annona species. You know, there's guanabana, there's pond apple, there's the llama, and there's a whole bunch of stuff. Oh my God, you have no idea. But the best stuff, the best ones is guanabana, sugar apple, Adamoya, which is the hybrid, and reticulata. Those are the best ones.
Yeah, these are delicious. Yeah.
And here we have Mamey Americanas, grafted Mamey Americanas. This one's called Tesoro. This was I got like 15 years ago from Richard Campbell from his collection. And this one's the Fairchild mango. I mean the Fairchild Mamey Americana.
Mamey.
Mamey Americana, which is also known as Antillean apricot. It tastes like a sun-dried apricot. And it's
Wow.
big and looks just like a mamey on the outside.
Wow.
And the inside is bright dark orange, crunchy, sweet. It's amazing. It's one of my favorite fruits. But the darn thing is not producing. It's not making that much flowers like before the hurricane. Prior to 2016, I had fruits on it almost all year round. And ever since the hurricane, it stopped flowering. And I just don't understand. I'm gonna try girdling. I mean, I tried girdling on some other trees, and I'm waiting to see. I'm still waiting for flowers. I might girdle this one. Just get one of those fasteners with a screw on it, and just fasten the trunk. And now this is a pretty rare. Is Persimmons. This is the Triumph
I have one of those.
Persimmons from Israel. And it makes a hell of a lot of persimmons.
Now, how long? Mine's been in the ground now for.
It's right there to your right.
Mine's been in the ground now for about 3 years.
Yeah.
Nothing yet. How long? I hear it
No
like for the
flowers?
first couple of years. Not yet. Not yet. But it's not anywhere near this tall. It's smaller than this
Well,
one.
these are 20 years old,
Okay, there you go.
and they're short. They don't get very big.
Oh, they
except for
don't?
that one. That one decided to get big. The rest of them stayed small. But you know, they're gonna get big. I mean, Bill Lassard got me these budwoods. I got the budwood from Bill Lassard, and I planted Virginiana seeds, Diospyros virginiana, for rootstock, and then grafted Triumph on the Virginiana, and then planted all these trees. Now, they're not the easiest thing in the world to graft. I have gotten better at grafting, but
Do you have
things are
tropical
hard.
persimmon?
This is it.
That's the same thing as a
I
tropical?
think so. I think so. I mean, I've never seen any tropical persimmon for sale. Now, this is the Virginiana. This is the native persimmon. This is the one that's full of seeds that is used for rootstock. The Triumph has no seeds, 0 seeds. It's an excellent persimmon. And this one is just a seedy persimmon.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't taste too bad. It's all right. But it's super full of fruits. Super productive. And this is a cool, very cool mango. It's called Alampur Benishan. You want to name a mango fruit punch? This is the one. Smell that. No. The tip. Yeah.
Wow. Smell that. Yeah. So yeah, so now with this one, there's different varieties this gets confused with, right? Some Indian ones?
No, this one's called Alampur Benishan. It's white flesh inside, almost white flesh, zero fiber. It's a dessert mango over there. It's very popular, Alampur Benishan. Some people just call it Benishan. There's a lot of confusion with Indian mangoes and the names because I'm not even going to get into it.
How old is this tree?
20 years old.
20 years old, and you keep
all the trees here are 20 years old.
Now you keep this one this short?
Actually, yeah, I cut it back. Now smell this one. It's a different one.
What is that?
What does it smell like?
Lemon? Or orange?
Orange, yeah. It's one of my favorite mangoes in the whole world.
What is that?
It's Gary.
A Gary, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, I never realized the Gary's leaves smell like oranges.
Yeah, I think it's my favorite mango.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I remember back in the late 90s, Gary came to the farm to deliver some plants that we bought, and he came with his father, Lawrence. And I was telling his father how much I loved the Cary mango. It was back in 97. And he told me, really, you like the Cary? Wait until you try a Gary. I'm like, a what? A Gary mango. And Gary was there, and he was like shaking his head like, no.
So that's your favorite?
I think that's my favorite. I think it's by far the most interesting. I mean, I'm excited to try it every year just to make sure I'm right. So I'm in the process of top working and pruning my mango collection. It's a small, modest mango collection.
Now,
But I got a lot of good ones.
when you're deciding what to top work and prune, are you doing it based because you're a farm on what's popular, or you're trying to get what's unique and exotic?
First one.
Okay.
What's popular?
What's popular? Okay.
Man, the sun is beating this up. I hope this is the sun.
Now this is a guava, right?
Yeah.
So, okay.
We're waiting for the guava to pop. This one popped.
Guava mango. So what was this before?
This one was a Lippens.
A Lippens.
And that was a Parvin.
A Parvin. Okay, and what are you converting this to? Venus. Okay, so show us. So there you go. It was just growing out and top worked it like that. And now these are not top worked yet,
No.
right?
No.
Okay.
I mean, when this one gets big enough, I'll get some more material from that and graft it on a couple of more.
Now the interesting thing about the Venus is it's one of the mangoes that are known to be susceptible to bacterial black spots. So a lot of farms aren't producing those, but this farm apparently not having that issue here, which is a good thing.
As long as somebody don't bring it with them, we'll be fine.
How big were these trees before you cut them?
Like that.
Wow. And that tree you've been cutting back, right?
Yeah, I've cut it back once or twice.
How long before these ones you top work will start producing fruit?
I don't know, 2 or 3 years. Another Venus.
Another Venus. You like that one, huh?
I never tried it. I never tried it before, but I know I gotta have it. Oh, look at that one. Look how bushy that one
Yeah.
got. It's on a massive root system. I mean,
What tree was that?
that one, oh my gosh. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I have it on the map. I mean, I came here with the
And
map.
what you put on there?
I think that's pina colada.
Pina colada, wow. Yeah, that's here amazing. Orange essence, yes.
Yeah, I like to graft it right here on the ring, where there's a lot of sap flow going on. Look, you got twins.
Wow. So if you want to top work, don't be scared to cut back your trees and top work, and great. See, they'll just start growing out, and then they'll grow like that, and then you can top work them like that, everybody. All right.
Nice and young. I'm going to top work some avocado. See that avocado I cut?
Yeah. Wow.
Put some Ronnies on that. Yeah. You get a lot of beetles.
Now what's up with these leaves here? Is that anything?
That's between the beetles and the anthracnose. This is a really disease-ridden variety. It's called Ataufo. And you know, Edward Kent is another one that's always battling. At least over here, not in the honey zone. Honey zone, everybody's happy.
That's his little mango area here, which is big. He said you had 100 varieties, he said?
Yeah, that's St. Maui, that's Manna Francis, that's Graham, Needham, Alfonso, Dupuis, which is an excellent mango, by the way.
So
Raposa, lemon meringue.
So these are all top work?
No, I just pruned these.
You just pruned these, so
yeah.
These aren't top work here,
No.
These are pruned.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, at St. Maui, I hear great things about this one.
Yeah, tastes like guava. I think that's the guava mango. I think somebody might have gotten, because it tastes like green guava. I haven't tried the guava mango, so
yeah.
But this one, St. Maui, has always tasted like guava to me, like green guava juice.
And then you said this was what?
Madam Francis.
Madam Francis. How tall were these before you pruned them?
Oh, you can see them over there.
Oh wow, okay.
That's a tall Raposa.
And how long before these to get like that?
A couple of more years.
A couple more years. And now, do you remove this or do you leave it just like chop and
No,
dry?
it's going to be removed.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be removed. All that. I don't want these things produce a lot of nitrogen. And they break down.
Yeah.
Mangoes don't like nitrogen. So the skinny branches and the leaves are okay, but these thick,
What kind of fertilizer do you use?
zero.
Zero fertilizer?
For the mango?
Yeah.
Zero.
But you spray them for disease?
Not really.
No.
Not really. The time to spray is when it has mangoes on it.
Uh-huh.
Either that or it's really sick and it needs help. But if it's healthy, you don't have to do anything to it. Except when it has mangoes on it. That's when, if you want some pretty mangoes, or you want them not to drop because of anthracnose.
Do you have any lemon zest or lemon meringue?
Lemon meringue is that tall tree there in the back.
Okay. Nice.
See, I top work these. See where I grafted these guys. These are like leftover 1 gallon mangoes that I neglected, and I stepped them up to a 3 gallon, then grafted it up high. Look at this one, has a fruit on it already.
Wow, what is that?
That's over there. I think that's Juliet. I grafted right there. Here's a whatchamacallit, a lemon meringue. Grafted right there.
Well, me too. What's your success rate on grafts?
It could be 100% if I'm doing it right, which is, you know, firm young material, you know, young rootstock and young budwood. My dad started this, you know, just working grafting Mamey mangoes in people's backyard and saving his coins. And luckily he had a job at Trek, working with Dr. Campbell, Carl Campbell, and he was able to obtain really good varieties and make some money on the side and going to people's houses. And I remember going with him as a kid to people's houses and people being so excited and happy to see my dad. Oh, I'm finally going to have my mate. Hey, let's have a party. You want a pastelito? And you know, just working hard, and you just see the fruits of your labor little by little.
Yes, and how old were you when you started grafting and getting into all this?
Well, my dad taught me how to graft when I was about 14, and started with citrus and mango every once in a while, but I mostly did citrus. That was the easiest. So he got me doing citrus and fertilizing 20, fertilizing avocados and mameys and stuff. And my dad would take care of customers, and I would just follow along and listen. And you know, most of the time it was boring as hell for me, but you know, I got pretty much an idea of how things, you know, work. The language of the fruit trees, you know, the language of trees, which is like, you know, very, very, you know, very not easy, but it's kind of like common sense. But a lot of things that are common sense are not really common sense. Like a lot of people put black dirt in the hole when they plant a tree, thinking it's common sense to put black dirt in the tree, and when you plant the tree, and what you do is you rot the roots, and you get dieback, and you're watering, and the tree's like drowning, and you don't know what's going on. Why is my tree dying? And common sense tells you to put black dirt in the hole, when what you really should do is just put the same stuff you dig out back in the hole.
Sure, sure. And is everything here organic, or do you use pesticides?
Oh yeah, I use pesticides. I mean, whatever I can get to get rid of it. You know, especially whitefly. Whitefly is a big problem. If you don't spray for that, I don't care how much neem oil you're gonna use, it's not gonna go away. You're gonna be spraying like all the time. But you know, it's just the way it is. Especially here in the Redlands, we got a lot of humidity, and it's extra hot because we're very inland, opposed to being east of US 1. If you live east of US 1, that's like the area called the honey zone, because the soil's fertile. It's like sandy black dirt. You're close to the water, so there's no humidity, and it's not that hot in the summer like it is over here, and it's not as humid in the summer like it is over here, and it's not as cold in the winter as it is over here. So why are we here in the first place? I mean, the best place to grow trees is over there, but that's where it was originally before it got developed, and then they pushed all the farmers out west, where the soil is rocky. You need like an excavator to dig a hole here, or an auger, opposed to sandy, fertile land. I mean, all those homes are planted on fertile land. But you know, what should have happened is all the development should have been here, and all the farms should have stayed there. But you know, it's all about real estate. I mean, exactly. I understand. I would love to live, you know, close to the water in the middle of civilization, but you can't have the best of both worlds, I guess.
Exactly. All right.
All right, you can go ahead.
All right, everybody. So let me ask you, of all the trees that you have here, the great variety of trees we sort today, if you were stuck with a small yard, right, and out of everything you have, you could only have 3 trees, every variety, every fruit, what would your top 3 be that you would have personally?
Top 3. Well, I would have caimito. I would have mango, and I would say durian, but durian doesn't grow down here. So I would go for, I don't know, lychee. I don't know, guanábana's more. Guanábana's better. Mamey, I would feel like, you know, I feel bad, but I've had so much mamey in my life, I could live without it for a while. So, yeah, I think it would be guanábana, caimito, which you like, right? You like caimito?
Yeah, I like caimito for sure.
Yeah, everybody who tries caimito loves it. And mango.
And what variety of mango, if you could only have one?
God, it's just, you're killing me. You're killing me. I mean, gosh, there's so many good out there, so many good ones. But like I said before, I love the Gary mango. And I'm pretty sure there's new mangoes out there from Gary that are a lot better than Gary. But it's hard to beat. I tried a Sugarloaf, and that tasted just like a Gary to me, but bigger. So Sugarloaf might be my new favorite.
Okay.
But, I mean, these are ugly mangoes. I mean, you look at the mangoes like, God.
And out of all the trees you've dealt with, from a disease standpoint, or at least work standpoint, to keep them fruiting, what would be 3 that are the hardest?
To keep them fruiting? Everything's hard in this area. The Redlands, you got more humidity than you do east of US 1, and you got more cold weather in the winter than you are when you have them east of US 1. But I guess the easiest ones to grow down here would be
What's the hardest?
The hardest?
When you say everything's hard now.
I mean, the hardest one would be Alamport Benishan. That one cracks on me. I mean, the Lancetilla cracks. Super Hayden, which is known as Davis Hayden, that one cracks. And these are just phenomenal mangoes. Phenomenal. But they crack open. Valencia Pride cracks open down here.
Wow.
And Doc Mai cracks.
2 things I haven't seen on your property is too many bananas or coconut.
Yeah, I stay away from coconut and bananas. They just take up too much room. And there's a dime a dozen out there.
Uh-huh.
I like to stick to the rare stuff.
Uh-huh. And, okay, so if people want to get trees from you, your contact information below, but tell them the best way to contact you.
You can call me at my phone number.
Okay.
It's listed everywhere.
I'll put that below. And also, you're on Instagram. You have pictures of all your fruits on Instagram.
Yeah, I got an Instagram page with nothing but video and pictures of everything that I grow here. I got a Facebook page also. Just type in Lara Farms on Facebook and click that like button, and you'll see a lot of video that I personally made, and pictures and interesting stuff.
There's a lot of things people can get here they just can't get anywhere else.
Yeah, that's what I like to be known for is, rare and exotic fruit trees. Like, for example, I have a tamarind that's actually sweet, and that's pretty rare.
Yeah, wow. All right, man. Anything else you want to add?
Nothing, just thanks, and I hope your audience enjoyed the video.
Sure they will. Thank you. All right, everybody. There it was, Lara Farms. That is this amazing time we had here today as we got to meet Julian and get a little golf cart ride of his little farm here, which is not really that little because it's over 10 acres. And we just had a blast, and he let us taste a lot of the different things as we were on the tour, which was really nice that we came at this time, that these things are in season. I definitely want to come back here when more things are in season. And I already have many of my trees in the ground. I don't have much room left, but I did get one of those Miami soursops that I've been wanting to get for a long time. So I'm going to put that in the ground and find a spot for that. But everything from avocados to mangoes to sapodillas to everything, the best of the best variety-wise he has here. And it's really a special place. And not a lot of places have available right now big mango trees. And he has these 15-gallon mango trees. You have some 25-gallon mango trees that are available for sale here. So if you're looking for a tree to put in the ground and be ready to fruit, this is the place you want to go, because I know a lot of the mango farms around, they don't have trees this big, and some of them do as well. And just as he's giving you the best of the best varieties, I feel blessed that I can go to the best of the best farms out there and introduce you to these people. And of all these people, he's definitely one of the people I would put on that list that you want to check out if you're serious about growing fruit. This here is an M4 mango that I don't know what was on here before, but it's a great example of what he's doing. He cut it back and he grafted the M4 onto here. There's his graft. And as you saw, he knows how to graft. He's been doing it many, many years. And I already have an M4, but if I wanted one, that's one I would get. Look how big this trunk is. This is going to have mangoes pretty soon, and they're going to be amazing. So this place is just amazing. This is the kind of place, between his knowledge and everything he has, If I would have not known all I knew about growing trees and everything else when I first got here, I would have just came here, loaded up on everything. This mango here, Pim Sung Moon, I believe this is, PSM. But this is a really big one. I got a small one of these. This is a really big one. If I had room in my car, I'd probably get this one, but I don't. But somebody should. So this is a great mango and variety and a great little farm here. So yes, if you're in this area, this is Homestead, Florida area, and Julian's the man. He has a lot of information and knowledge. Okay, and the great news is if you're not local, he just got his certification to ship out of state to all 50 states. So if you are looking for a tree in the mail in the near future, he will be able to do that, but just contact him for that information. So that's a great time we had here. I hope that you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed it. Remember, hit that subscribe button and hit that like button, and watch out for some more videos. Thank you, everybody, and keep growing.